All right, a couple of reminders before we get started. We're going to start with an opening statement from the head coach, followed with questions for the student athletes. At the conclusion of the questions for the student athletes, they'll be dismissed, then questions for the head coach can start. Please raise your hand and someone with a microphone will come around. Please give your name and media affiliation. If you're joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address questions in the room first and get to the Zoom if time allows. Now we'll start with the opening statement from head coach Greg Campy.
For us, we played, and I got asked this a couple days ago. You don't blow anybody out. You don't, you won a championship, but your numbers are you're in the middle of the pack and everything, and we just win close games. We've done it all year. We lost a very close one to Ohio State and a very close one to Illinois. We learned from those games. When we beat Xavier in a close game, we knew we were a special team, and we just have different ways to beat you. But our zone is, man, it's good, and we defend. That's so much different for me. I've always been a coach that won games with offense, and this year it's all been defense, and great players making plays down the stretch, and we've just win close games. And if you would have been in our huddles the last 7-8 minutes of the game, we said if we get it if we're ahead with the 6 minutes to go in the game, we will win. And they believed that, and they did, because they've done it all year. We win close games. We make plays. Trey with a fadeaway jump shot. DQ Cole with a shot in the corner when it looked like all hell was breaking loose, right? We had a 7-point lead, and all of a sudden it's 2, and we're in a panic. The shot clock's running down, and Rocket gave it up. Rocket Watts gave it up, and DQ buried it. We just do those things, and that's how you win, and we won.
And just a quick fill-in reminder, no video cameras are permitted, including cell phones or tablets. Thank you. Now, representing Oakland student athletes are Trey Townsend and Jack Gohlke. Questions for student athletes? Right down here first, to the right.
Noah Hiles, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Jack, in the midst of that performance, are you even able to appreciate what's taking place, or are you just kind of too locked into the game itself?
I'm always pretty much just locked into the game. Obviously, I'm feeling the emotion of it for sure, but just focused on trying to make the next shot, trying to win for my teammates. I'm always mad if I miss one, even if I was 10 of 11. So I'm just always looking for the next play, like Coach Campy always says, and just living in the moment.
Question right here.
Yep. Jack, I think 5th player in the history of this tournament to make 10 three-pointers. You guys just beat Kentucky. Campy just beat Cal. It's things you were saying this week, but now you just did it. And I guess, Trey, after on what Jack did, and then big shots for you. I mean, you guys did it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we weren't trying to talk anything disrespectful at all during the week. We were just trying to say that we believed we belonged here as well. And like you said, we proved it, and we've been a solid team all year. We've won close games, like Coach said, and we just believe in each other as teammates that we're always going to make the next play because things are going to go wrong, but we know we're going to make the next one.
Question in the back, middle.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN. Trey, watching Jack, I mean, obviously you're playing with him too, but at what point did you realize, like, oh, he's on one tonight? This is his night to kind of light things up?
I mean, going into every game, I just feel like any of my teammates are capable of that, and it just makes me play much more comfortable out there. I don't have to put too much stress on myself, but once Jack makes 3, it's like, okay, he's got it going. It could be him, it could be Blake, and like Cam said today, it was Jack, and I think that's the great thing about this team is any given night, any one of us could do that, but it's definitely a special thing watching him just 3 after 3 after 3, and he gets so hype out there, and it just gives us all, momentum and excitement to keep playing hard, so it was great to see.
Question left right here.
Jack, you obviously had a lot of confidence throughout the entire game, but like what was your mind going into the latter half of the second half?
Obviously, if I make that many shots in the first 2/3 of the game or whatever it is, they're going to start guarding me different, and I probably forced 1 or 2 that I shouldn't have taken. But I was trying to calm down a little bit and let my teammates carry me from that point. Obviously, like Coach said, Trey made a huge shot. DQ made a huge shot down the stretch. At that point, they're going to kind of force 2 guys to me and pay a ton of attention. And at that point, if we're playing 4-on-3, I trust my teammates playing 4-on-4. But if we're playing 4-on-3, I know we're going to win for a fact. So I'm going to let them do that all game long.
The right.
Bailey Tucker, College Basketball Review. Jack, you said in your post-game interview with CBS that you guys aren't a Cinderella team. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I've always had an interesting mindset about that. Obviously we come in, we're the underdog by all measures, but you just gotta, as a player, you can't think that way. You gotta go out there and you gotta think that you have the same talent level as them. I know they have draft picks, and I know I'm not going to the NBA, but I know on any given night I can compete with those type of guys, and our team can compete with those type of guys. And that's why I was so confident going into it, and that's why I say we're not a Cinderella, because when we play our A game, we can be the best team on the floor.
Zach in the back.
Zach Jackson, The Athletic. Jack, you shot your last round of warm-up shots, and then I think your first 4 all from that same spot on the left wing. For those of us just seeing you for the first time now, is it safe to say that's your spot?
Yeah, I definitely prefer the wings, but I'll shoot it from anywhere. You probably saw that during the game.
Question right here.
Will Graves, Associated Press. Jack, you said you get mad when you miss one shot. Are you mad?
I was literally telling Trey T as we were walking in here I should have made 13.
Well, as a follow-up, you said you're not going to the NBA. What is your plan whenever this ends? What is your plan after this?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to go to the NBA.
He's going to take care of my money.
But I want to keep playing professionally wherever that takes me. If it somehow is the NBA, that'd be great. But if not, overseas, wherever it is, I've worked too hard to stop playing after this year.
Question on the right.
Nick Lawrence, Mid-Major Madness. Trey, you grew up around this program. You watched a lot of Oakland basketball in your life. There's only been one tournament win in the NCAA. It was a playing game. Just how special is it to finally get a round of 64 win for this program you grew up around?
It's such a great thing, and just to see our fan base travel the way they did. You know, we were happy that we got it. We wanted Pittsburgh and Indianapolis because we knew they were going to travel if they could drive, and to see the support that was here tonight, that pushed us over the edge on top of Jack, you know, carrying us on his back for most of the game. But just seeing everyone out there, and my parents were here, my dad's right back there, just to win with them here, it was a special thing for sure. And we're definitely not done yet.
Question on the left.
Hey, George Gerbo, Washington Times. Jack, I know we're in the immediate aftermath of this game, and you've got a game Saturday, and you have more desires in this tournament. But what you did here tonight, people across this country are going to remember for a very long time, and you've kind of etched your name in the pantheon of the NCAA tournament. Has any of that set in for you here just in these first few moments after this game?
I would say not really. More so what I was thinking about is just how Coach Campy's always talked about doing this kind of for Oakland and for the university, and that's kind of more what's set in, is that we just did a big thing for the university and for the basketball program, and I want to continue to do that, like you said.
All right, we got time for 3 questions real quick here. Right there on the middle aisle, yep.
Mike Asti, Yard Barker. So was there any extra motivation added in just hearing all week once you got Pittsburgh, but so did Kentucky with Trey Mitchell, even Cal being from Pittsburgh, and a lot of the focus on Pittsburgh natives coming back, a wild Kentucky contingent here. It almost felt like the only place in the country outside of Kentucky might have been Pittsburgh not rooting for the Cinderella because of the Pittsburgh natives. Do you guys feel any of that? Was that extra motivation at all for you guys in this?
For me, I didn't know how many people from their program were from Pittsburgh area. I just saw that and knew our fan base was going to travel. They've been great, especially this latter half of the season. And just like I said earlier, just having them here, I knew we were going to be able to do it. And we didn't really care, honestly, where we were playing or who we were playing, but obviously playing a school like Kentucky, it's in March Madness. It's such a crazy thing, but I just got to shout out our fans and everyone that traveled out today. It was so special to see everyone there.
Question right there in the middle.
Tyler Cronin, Busting Brackets. Jack, what's it feel like knowing that tomorrow morning you're going to wake up and you're going to be a celebrity?
That's funny.
He looks like a linebacker.
I don't care too much about that. I just, I don't know. I want to be a bigger celebrity after our team wins the next game. That's really all I'm thinking about is tomorrow I prep for either NC State or Texas Tech, and we're going to go out there and we're going to win again.
Right front.
Kind of a similar question. Have you had a chance to even check your phone yet? And if so, like how? So no, you haven't been able to see like anything on social media or how many texts you got or anything.
I'm a phone totally off a couple hours before the game and don't look at it for a while after. Just soak in the moment because that's what I'm here to do with my teammates and my coaches. So I'll probably check it in a couple hours. But I guess I probably won't respond to a lot of messages until tomorrow or maybe even next week.
All right, last question, back right.
Billy Witz with the New York Times. And Jack, when you were a scrawny freshman at Hillsdale, did moments like this ever, I don't know, when you're in the gym, just working out, trying to get bigger and better and stronger, did something like this even, was it even a fantasy?
Once I got to Hillsdale, the Division II level, I was very focused on just being the best Hillsdale player I could be, because I didn't know I was going to have extra eligibility or anything like that. So when I was in the gym, I was focused on big moments in the Division II tournament, and luckily I was able to do that with my teammates at Hillsdale. Shout out to them. And then I was lucky enough to get an extra year and join a terrific program with Trey T and Coach Campy here. And obviously as a kid, that's always a dream, but once I started college, it wasn't as much, but I'm happy it's materializing right now.
All right, thank you, student athletes.
Thank you, guys.
All right, questions for Coach Campy? Front left right here. Oh, we'll get you next, yep.
Will Graves, AP. Greg, did you speak this into existence yesterday with the talk about Hoosiers and Jimmy Chitwood and all that?
That's my boy right there, Jimmy Gohlke. No, I got a lot of crap about what I said, and I was shocked by that. People just couldn't believe that I said I wanted Kentucky, and they took it all wrong. I mean, we had a chance to play on prime time, and I knew my team's good, and I knew that they deserved the chance to not play in somewhere out where nobody's paying attention, and that team won, and then show the highlights. I wanted them to be prime time, and I knew they would. There was never a doubt in my mind that this wasn't going to be a game. Now, there was doubt that we would win, but there was never a doubt that this would be a game, because I've been with this team since June, and I know who they are. And I mean, did anybody think that was lucky? I mean, that's the worst we've shot from a free throw line all year, and we missed point-blank shots early. But Gohlke put us on our back, and then we did all, our defense travels. It carried us, right? And, I brought that up. The only reason I brought that up, honestly, is because just before I came into the press conference that day, somebody had tweeted it at me. And so I knew that. I'm not that big of a nerd, all right? I just knew it, and because I had just read it. And it seemed the right thing to say. But honestly, the Kentucky fans that thought that was the biggest compliment I could give you, that you're the blue blood, that your fan base is the best, that you have the best coach, and all that kind of stuff. That was just a compliment. It didn't mean anything but that.
All right, question left front.
Hey, Greg, Tony Garcia, Detroit Free Press. For these guys, this is a lifelong accomplishment, but you've been coaching twice as long as they've been alive, right? And
of course, we got to go there. Yeah,
it's a good thing, right? So, and you've been. I guess we're going to keep going down that road, right? You were talking about the other day when you walk into Pitt and you get chills about those close losses, right? And then the bad draw against Texas a dozen years or so. So many times you've almost had this moment. When you are now sitting on the other side of this moment, what is rushing through you?
Longevity. You stay around long enough, you're going to get lucky, right? I got lucky to have this group of kids. My staff recruited them. They're the greatest group of kids. I mean, they're just unbelievable. You heard these two guys. I mean, unbelievable kids, and that's why we win. But I did say this in the press conference. I forget who asked me that would this be the greatest win, and I said it would be for Oakland, but not for me because of the Michigan stuff, right? I don't know if you heard that or not, but I lied. This is the greatest win that I've ever been a part of. As soon as that horn went off, I changed my mind immediately. This on prime time against the great coach, the great program and all that, and just the way we played. I'm going to say it again. We led the whole game, right? And every time they got the lead, we came right back. If we were pretenders, we would have folded. And that's what Jack meant by that Cinderella thing. We don't look at ourselves that way. We're not pretenders. We believe that we belong here. Trey Townsend physically, in the second half, went to work, right? And I mean, we shot 5 free throws in the first half, and they had 14, yet when the game was over, we had more free throws than they do because that's how we play, physical. And we belong. And So I agree with Jack. We don't want that Cinderella slipper. We want to be known as when we're playing on Saturday, whoever we're playing, we want the respect that this is a good basketball team.
We got last two right here, front and left.
Coach, Mike Larson with the Pittsburgh Business Times. Over the years, you've had a lot of good teams, a lot of good players. What does this win mean for this program that a lot of people have to remind is in Michigan and not California?
Yeah. I wanted to say something, but I won't. I'll be classy. Yeah, I think a few years ago, Michigan State was #1 in the country, and we had a chance. The ball rolled around the rim and didn't go in, and we lost in overtime. That I've said many times, I have nightmares about that game, and if that ball had gone in, it would have changed everything for Oakland basketball, because we would have beaten the #1 team in the country on national TV. Would have changed the amount of money that came in. Maybe I'd have a practice facility, all that kind of stuff. This changed everything tonight. There's nobody in the country that doesn't know what Oakland basketball is, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of our school. I've spent a lifetime there. When I got there, we were 9,000 students with 1,500 on campus. We're 20,000 now with 5,000 on campus. We're thriving. We have a great president. I have a great athletic director. Everything's in place for this program to take off, and maybe this is the ignition for it, So, yeah, it means the world. And for me, a lifer there, it's really special.
All right, last question right here.
Bailey Tucker, College Basketball Review. Coach, I'm right over here.
There you are.
Coach, you said yesterday that this win would change the lives of the guys on your team, and obviously we've seen on social media just how much exposure you've gotten, and people, all kinds of people have just said, how impressive Jack played and just how impressive your team played. What does that mean to you that you guys are getting that recognition from these big-time people of how talented that you say your team has been all along?
Well, first of all, I think it's because of the way we played, right? I think we handled the win, too. We didn't. DQ got a little carried away with about 14 seconds to go or something, and he got it. I punched him right in the stomach, not physically, but verbally. But they saw the great kids, and they saw really, really good basketball. But what I meant by that would change their lives, in the lore of Oakland basketball, they're going to be back for a 10-year anniversary, a 20-year anniversary, a 30-year anniversary. They're now the team, right? Jack Gohlke, as you just said, somebody said you're a celebrity, and that's what we've talked about. The whole thing down the stretch has been, once we knew we'd won a ring, the whole banter in the locker room has been, what's it going to say on that ring, right? What's it going to say on that ring? It's just Horizon League champ, NCAA, Sweet 16, Final Four. I've put that thought in their mind, and they've really battled for it. And they understand that their life got changed tonight. But there's a lot. It could get changed a hell of a lot more if we keep this thing going.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I'm having a hard time, and when Cal comes in here, that was a hard thing for me. And he was unbelievably gracious after the game. Unbelievably gracious. Because it has to be a hard thing for him, too. And I feel bad because I didn't know what to say to him. I just stared at him. But what he said to me, he was unbelievably gracious. And I want you to remember that's a very good man. Thank you. It's between us. I'm not sure I even remember. Because honestly, I didn't know what to say.
Thanks, Coach.